In this video, I'm going to take a found object mockup and put it into a straight repeat. And then in the next video, I'll do a half drop. So as you can see, these elements have been laid out to create, it's not great. You know, I did a pretty good job laying them out to create a straight repeat, but you can see that some things don't line up the way they would if they were literally repeating. So I'm going to extract one section of this and then put that into repeat. So instead of the variety that you see here, you'll see just one thing happening over and over again. So I'm going to do that by using the lasso tool. And I'm still in the background layer here, but I'm going to basically go in and select the repeat elements, the motif elements that are in this mockup that create the repeat unit. So if I take this, it's the same as all four of those. And I'm careful to make sure I'm selecting the right amount of information, not leaving anything out, not adding any duplicates in there. And then I'm going to put that on its own layer, new layer via copy, because we are actually going to just clear out the background. But instead of clearing out the background, I'm going to leave this as a reference and for while I'm working. So I'm basically just going to work on an empty layer instead. And on that empty layer, I can just hide that background. So I'm moving this up and I'm going, remember it's a straight repeat. So I'm going to use the guides and I'm going to line up the artwork with itself. So I'm just going to bring this in so I can line up the guide at the edge of the beginning of those artworks. And then I can select that section. And I'm going to do new layer via cut, and I'll delete that extra layer. So just to remind you, we have the artwork, we have the fake background, and we have the original mockup. So that'll keep it sorted. So now with this artwork, I'm going to duplicate it. The easiest way to duplicate it is to have the move tool activated and then hold the Option or Alt key down and click and drag on that. So that's going to allow me to just duplicate it. And I can then place it in a way that is spaced the way the original was. And that's why I kept the original one, because maybe I don't remember what it looks like. So I can always get rid of everything and say like, okay, it wasn't quite overlapped as much as I have it. So let me bring it over a little bit. Okay. So once I've done that, I can merge these two layers together, Command E on the keyboard or layer merge down, and then duplicate it again. You'll notice how the guides are helping me stay connected to the edge of the repeat so I don't accidentally move it. So I'm going to bring this up. You'll notice there's some background there that's in the way. Again, I'm going to make some of those layers invisible so I can see what my spacing looks like. Looks like I went a little too far. So I can do something like that. And of course, if I want to overlap it more, I can do that and then just clean away. Using the lasso tool, I can clean away that extra white that I didn't mean to have there. Okay. And then we can just move this down anyway. So that is going to technically be in repeat. I'm going to merge these two layers together. Again, I can do Command E on my keyboard, or I can do layer merge down. And now I'm going to move the guides in so that I can extract a repeat from the center. So this is where I want to select the repeat from because it doesn't include any of the raggedy edges. So the trick here is to put the guides down and then select the upper left corner. Do new layer via copy so that you have a little floating square here. And you can use that floating square to mark where the end of the repeat is. It's just easier than guessing. So I can say, you know what, it ends there. Let me put another guide. And it ends here. Let me line that up and put another guide. So that floating selection is a little trick that I invented when I was cropping badly. And now I can go ahead and select that. I can crop the whole image, or I can copy it and step it out. In this case, I think I'm going to crop the whole image. Image crop. I'm going to clear away the guides, and then I'm going to make the canvas size 200% by 200%, just so I can step this out now. There's extra layers here that I can get rid of. A little prematurely there, but maybe I'll flatten the whole thing when I'm done. So I'm going to step this out, and you can see that it's a seamless repeat unit now. I do want to make sure I fill this with the same color ground and merge it. So now I have that repeating pattern. So I can step it out, you know, as many times as I want to, and it will always repeat because it is a seamless pattern now. You can see here, here, that is a straight repeat. So I'm going to keep recording and just make a note of when the half drop starts. So I'm going to go over to the mock-up found object that has the half drop in it. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go in, I'm going to select, you know, one of the units, and I don't have to select all that extra ground. I can deselect that so it doesn't cause me trouble when I'm trying to get it connected. Don't need to be too careful about it though, because I can always erase it away. So I'm selecting that, I'm putting it on its own layer. I'm going to add that empty layer just so I can have a fake background. And remember, I'm keeping the original so that I can remind myself of the spacing. So this is the straight repeat part. This is the part where it half drops. So I'm going to start by going up here. Maybe I'll put the guides down so I can see what I'm doing. Just going to zoom in so I can put them at the edge of the artwork. I'm going to copy that artwork, move it down. So remember, the vertical part is a straight repeat. It's just an issue of checking how far apart they are. So this one to this one. And it looks like they should be spaced further. I can merge these two together, and then I can crop this and then do the half drop. So cropping this one, again, using that floating selection, I can bring the guide in, and I can say, you know what, I'm just going to crop it from that section. Oops, sorry. I'm going to crop it from this section down to here. Check to see where I need to crop it from. Get rid of that floating selection when I don't need it anymore. Select this. I'm going to put this on its own layer. So I'm doing Command J. You can also do new layer via copy. And I'm going to get rid of the background information that I don't need. Leaving those guides here. I'm going to duplicate this, go halfway down. See, the smart guide tells me when I'm halfway. Duplicate this again. I'm going to merge those two layers together. And then in terms of the spacing, I can see on my little preview here that the spacing is a little bit wider than I thought. So I'm going to go there. And then I can merge these two layers together so that I can select my repeat unit. So that's my repeat unit here. Its own layer. And it will connect. And it contains a half drop. Okay. So there are other videos that you have access to that explain this in, you know, with a piece of fabric or something, but this is a good one for you to understand the half drop for the found object design.